evening and welcome. I'm Selena Mead with the Vsb Tv 11 Evening News on this Friday, May the 23rd. Our top story tonight, good news on the hotel front as Tourism Minister Sean Crockwell announced today that the Desarolos Hotel Company Group are negotiating to construct a world-class full-service resort on the St. George's Club Med site. He tells VSB's Brian Darby that Bermuda and the experienced Venezuelan group are in an exclusive negotiation period with anticipation for groundbreaking later this year.
We were very excited by their proposal and what they want to do in St. George's. They fell in love with St. George's. They were very excited about the fact that it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. They want to build upon that in their proposal, and as a result they were very sensitive to the forts that are already there, incorporating those forts into their development design, and so we're very, very excited and encouraged about this news today.
Will you give us a rough idea of how long it will take to put the thing in order?
Absolutely. Well, it's going to be 120 days so we can sort out some terms from the decision of the government to choose a finalist and when we actually sign the contract and get going. Obviously, we want to get shovels in the ground as soon as possible, but realistically, we may be looking at the end of the year or early next year, but we're going to try and expedite that process as quickly as possible. But at the end of the day, this is going to be good for tourism. We're looking at more inventory. We're looking at a 5-star brand coming to Bermuda, looking at getting that golf course back online. It's going to be redesigned as well, but maintaining its character and all the wonderful holes that are there. So this is fabulous for St. George's, it's fabulous for Bermuda, and certainly is a good step in the right direction for the tourism industry.
And of course, casino.
Well, again, we haven't yet passed the legislation yet to make casinos legal, but they are aware of the government's intentions, so they included a casino in their proposal, contingent on the fact that we make it law, and so it's not a deal breaker for them, but it's something that if we do have it legalized, they will be making an application to the future Gaming Commission.
There was a rumor going around Parliament Hill today that the opposition were planning to spring a motion on the government calling for a vote of no confidence. It was strong enough to attract a packed public gallery, including some senators and former politicians. But Premier Michael Dunkley did not appear to be overly concerned, even though a number of his members were absent overseas.
The opposition is entitled to do what they deem fit. Brian, I think it's appropriate that we get back to business. A sitting premier has resigned. If there was time for a motion by the opposition, it was last week. We had an exciting announcement of the hotel development in St. George's this morning. We cannot sit up here and argue amongst ourselves back and forward. If we can continue to do that, we're going to chase investment away. Now, I have no problem with the opposition bringing these issues to the fore, but enough is enough on this issue. It's been aired enough. Jetgate is now Deadgate, and we need to move on.
Former Attorney General Mark Pettingill finds it puzzling that while the former PLP government was discovered to have taken 30 major business trips during its terms, some of them at the expense of overseas interests and individuals, nothing was said and no one appeared offended. So, in his opinion, the Jetgate fiasco just does not make sense to him.
You know, Honourable Wayne Ferbert was very honest in saying that, you know, he accepted a flight, albeit first class, to go and meet with a developer on what sounded like a negotiation. That would potentially be a breach of the code. Nobody called for heads there. You know, nobody did, because I think in relation to it at the time and looking at the code, if people were taking jet flights without more, and they were just, you know, on a jet to do, you know, discussion or whatever, and they didn't have further details, so what? You know, that would be within the realms of the code. I assume that's why the PLP government were okay with people doing that. But the key is this, right? If a minister is in a position where somebody can exercise undue influence on him, well, even if this was a discussion about, you know, a potential development in RFP, minister's not in a position to do that. That has to go to RFP. You know, we've done that and been through that process right now in relation to one of these properties, and you know, the minister's going to announce that soon. But that was all the way it was going to happen, and I very diligently at the time explained, this is the process in Bermuda, this is how it goes, and I also raised the issue because of the Bazarian lease, which had caused me great concerns, where the government had said they would give a license to Mr. Bazarian if casino gaming was legalized, is the biggest no-no. We spotted it last year, and I said, no, we will never proceed down that path. So it's made very clear and unequivocal, if you come to Bermuda, you're going to have to go through a very rigorous, independent licensing authority, which is exactly the process that we've been setting up, which is why we went to Singapore, which is why we did all of those things. That's the way it's going to be. That was always the intention. No scandal.
Government is moving towards establishing a permanent ambulance service in the West End. As far as Independent Member of Parliament Terry Lister is concerned, it is long overdue.
I'm pleased to hear that government is taking the study on. I wasn't aware of that, so tick to that box. On the other hand, I do want to express my condolences to the family of Daniel Lobacher, who passed away yesterday. And it's timely, unfortunately timely, because obviously I put the question in 2 weeks ago, but here we are right now as an example of why we really need to have an ambulance in the West End. I believe that the team at Port Royal do an outstanding job, but the step up to an ambulance would certainly assist. And so I can only encourage the government to make this move as soon as possible.
There is some medical care on board the ship, but not for something so drastic.
Exactly. And on top of that, whilst you can say that, in this case the accident took place at Spar Lane. But suppose the accident has taken place right at Watford Bridge, or you keep moving further and further west, the ship is of no relevance once you get further and further west.
And we do have an awful lot of tourists travelling on bikes these days.
We have a lot of tourists on bikes, and let's be serious. At this point in time, the cruise ships are the major carriers of tourists to Bermuda. So let's make sure we give them all the care and comfort that they need.
The hiring of a hotel development consultant by the Bermuda Tourism Authority raised the hackles of the opposition in Parliament today when the Minister of Tourism refused to say what his salary had been and who exactly hired him. Minister Sean Crockwell said afterwards that the consultant concierge Ronald Sutherland has done a fine job for Bermuda.
The retention of Mr. Sutherland by the Bermuda Tourism Authority proved to be extremely valuable to this process. He knew this industry very well. He knew the players, the major development companies, has been in the industry for decades, and it was recommended to me that we should utilize a concierge service so that we can have these individuals have one contact to primarily ask questions, get the appropriate answers, and help navigate through this process. The Tourism Authority Act was debated in this House on the 27th and 28th of September because it went into the early hours of the morning, and it received its assent around the 7th of October of 2013. At that point, there was no longer a tourism board. There was an interim tourism authority, and it was in December, mid-December of 2013 that they hired Mr. Sutherland. So we are very happy with his performance, and we are pleased with where we are today with this particular project.
Meanwhile, opposition leader Mark Bean found this lack of information to be a sign of arrogance.
We wanted to ensure that, or get clarity as to what his role is and what his responsibilities are. It's something because a simple question as to how much is this gentleman being compensated. Again, we received that is none of our business type of answer from Minister Crockwell. And the fact that they brought a statement announcing that the Cabinet has determined someone or two people who were shortlisted, and then they determined who will win the bid to sign an exclusivity agreement for Club Med is the height of arrogance and shows, as I said in Parliament, a lack of a moral barometer. Remember, this whole Jetgate fiasco is centered around the Club Med development, the entire fiasco. And so in the midst of not receiving adequate answers or seeing adequate actions by the One Bermuda Alliance government, they have the audacity to come before the people of Bermuda and tell us that they have already picked someone to develop a site that's mired in controversy. Now let me get my point across clearly. We on the Progressive Labour Party side desperately seek to see development at Club Med, Morgan's Point, Parlerville, and if the Greens deem fit, up at the Sinesta Beach property.
Still ahead, we have Valentina with the weather preview.
Thank you, Selena. And unsettled weekend weather coming up. And now taking a look at the radar. Fairly clear conditions currently. Please stay tuned for a full weekend weather report.
The weather radar picture provided courtesy of the Ministry of Transport on Vsb TV 11.
It's barbecue time. Purdue Fresh Value Pack chicken thighs, only $1.99 per pound. Imported Haitian mangoes, just $2.99 each, saving you $1. Save 60 cents on all varieties of Hunt's barbecue sauce, only $1.89 for an 18-ounce bottle. Dozen large imported brown or white eggs, just $2.89. All varieties of Wise potato chips, only $1.49 for a 3.75-ounce bag. Visit our website at www.marketplace.pm for more weekly specials.
What does kindness look like in Bermuda? Sally has gone to school again today without breakfast. Lorraine has to make the choice between medication and paying her electric bill. And Ian, he's a parent, overwhelmed and on the verge of letting his family down. So, what does kindness look like? Like this, Neighbors Helping Neighbors, offering a hand up to people with short-term financial challenges. People like Sally, Lorraine, and Ian, all helped by 3 local organizations: the Coalition for the Protection of Children, the Family Center, and Age Concern. So stop and think about what kindness means to you, and donate to each charity online or in person at Belco headquarters. Neighbors Helping Neighbors, fostering the spirit of giving in Bermuda. Promotional consideration sponsored by Belco.
Now at Big Savings Zone, there's the Kids Zone. See the latest bedroom ideas for tots to teens. There's a large selection of beds, bedding, all kind of furniture designed especially in mind for your child. And see the array of accessories for all ages. Big Savings Zone is the home of Ashley Furniture and Serta Mattresses in Bermuda. And the Kids Zone is only at Big Savings Zone, at the end of Stocks Road, St. David's.
Hi, I'm Peter Juvetic, host of Season to Taste. Tune in on Tuesday night during the Vsb TV 11 News. I'll be here with Chef Derek Myers from the Island Restaurant Group. He'll be preparing this lovely dish of coconut shrimp with a lovely mango salsa, and find out what the Gosling's Wine of the Week is.
Tuesday during the Vsb TV 11 News.
Welcome back to Vsb TV 11. The annual Bermuda Day Parade will take to the streets of Hamilton this coming Monday. The theme for Heritage Month this year is Bermuda's Historical Treasures. Minister of Community Culture and Sports, Wayne Scott, explained what people can expect as far as the parade route and other fine details this coming Monday.
Bermuda Day is about being Bermudian. This year, Bermuda Day will be celebrated on Monday the 26th, as we all know. The Bermuda Day parade route will be the same as last year. The parade will begin at 1:30 p.m., starting along Marsh Folly Road, and will continue through to the top of Cedar Avenue. The parade will then make a left turn onto Church Street, followed by a right turn onto Court Street. Thereafter, the parade will move through Front Street and up Queen Street and disperse following final performances at the City Hall car park. Mr. Speaker, for the safety of the public, as the parade reaches the top of Queen Street, the floats will make a right turn onto Church Street and park in front of City Hall and remain there on display throughout the afternoon. The dance trucks, however, must make a left turn onto Church Street and then a right turn onto Wesley Street, where dancers will disperse at the performance site at the City Hall car park and then continue through the city via Park Road.
The Appleby Half Marathon will start at 9 a.m. at the junction of Cambridge and Somerset Roads. The event will see over 900 runners make their way to the finish line at Bernard's Park. Now, one of the best things you can do for Bermuda Day is make certain you have a good vantage point. And one thing is for sure, Bermudians are known to take where they sit and watch the Bermuda Day Parade from very seriously. Spray paint and tape can be seen along the parade route as families move to claim their spots. But one family has turned staking out their spot up a notch and has been camped out on Front Street for 10 days to ensure that they have a spectacular vantage point. VSB's Julia Smatt spoke with Kiana Millett-Pratt about what prompted her to claim her spot over a week ago in advance of the parade.
We've actually been doing this for 33 years, but we found that as the years went by, in the beginning you only had to come the day before, but we found that it's gotten really popular, so we've had to start coming earlier and earlier every year. So because we love this spot and we've been here 33 years, we get here early.
Apparently. So how does this work? I noticed that you have a very organized schedule. Can you talk to me a little bit about that?
What I did, we take this whole sidewalk and we got in touch with the other families, and I emailed them about a month or two, maybe a month to 6 weeks before it starts, and we put together the schedule, and then I send out daily updates, and I keep people updated. They know what time they have to make. I let them know who their next person is. They have to contact them, and so on and so on.
So how long are the shifts usually?
24 hours.
But I see here, say, for example, someone will be here from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m., 2 a.m. on the actual day before the parade.
We try to do 2 hours, and then because I come for about 4 hours. Yesterday I was here from 4:30 a.m. till 1 p.m., and then I may leave. Maybe I come back at night, and then I may leave 1 o'clock.
Obviously, you're a big fan of the parade. What are your favorite highlights?
I like everything, the floats. I like to see the majorettes, just the parade.
Now here's a look at the daily markets presented by Bias.
Here are the daily markets presented by Bias. World equity markets were mostly higher on Friday after Russia promised to respect election results in Ukraine, suggesting an easing in the region's crisis. U.S. stocks rose as April new home sales data topped expectations. The Dow Jones Industrial Average tacked on 0.38% to 16,606. The NASDAQ Composite Index rose 0.76% to 4,186. 9,500 shares of Argus Group changed hands. The stock price fell 11% to $4. 48,500 shares of Bank of Butterfield traded. The stock price fell 2.44% to $2. Most European stocks advanced on Friday as a gauge of euro area confidence increased more than forecast. Germany's DAX rose 0.48% to 9,768. Asian stocks rose after data showed U.S. manufacturing expanded and as the yen held yesterday's losses. Japan's Nikkei 225 index rose 0.87% to 14,462. Latin America equities were mixed today. The Vsb fell 0.34% to 52,626 as Brazilian consumer confidence dropped to its lowest level in 5 years, dimming the outlook for stocks that depend on domestic demand. Treasuries rose for the first time in 3 days as investors sought refuge from the turmoil in the Ukraine and slower economic growth in Europe. 10-year yields fell 2 basis points to 2.53%. The U.S. dollar traded mixed versus major trading peers. The Canadian dollar advanced against the U.S. dollar after the nation's inflation rate quickened in April to reach the central bank's target for the first time in 2 years. That was a look at the daily markets brought to you by Bias. More news after the break.
Save $4 on imported seedless watermelons, just $10.99 each. Certified Angus beef, top sirloin steak, only $8.99 per pound. All varieties of Breyer's ice cream, just $7.89 for a 48-ounce tub. Clean up this holiday with Bounty napkins, only $4.89 for a package of 200. All varieties of Yoplait yogurt, just $1.09 for a 6-ounce tub. Have a safe and happy Bermuda Day holiday from the marketplace.
You can count on us. Bermuda Cablevision invites you to attend an inspiring concert called To Bermuda with Love. This uniquely Bermudian family event will be held at the National Sports Center on Sunday, May 25th at 5:30 p.m. The concert will benefit Cablevision's Open Hands Loving Hearts food drive, which collects and distributes food to charities across Bermuda who are running feeding programs for the needy. Start celebrating Bermuda Day early. with performances by some of Bermuda's most talented entertainers, including gospel artists, children's groups, choirs, jazz musicians, and more. There is no monetary admission fee. However, you are asked to bring 3 non-perishable food items per person to donate to the Open Hands Loving Hearts food drive. Everyone is invited to come out and enjoy this one-of-a-kind family evening, which will inspire and uplift you while you help a very worthy cause. See you on May 25th.
If you've been the victim of an uninsured or hit-and-run driver, your medical and other expenses may not be covered by your insurance. The good news is, there is coverage. The Motor Insurers Fund can provide you with compensation to help you through the crisis, whether suffering from physical injury, loss of wages, or extra expense incurred as a result of your injuries. For further information about the Motor Insurers Fund, visit mif.bm or call 505-8555. The Motor Insurers Fund, assurance after the unexpected.
Bermuda is me.
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 Bermuda is all of us. Happy Heritage Month from Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
And welcome back in sports tonight. With a plethora of sports being part of the Bermuda Day weekend of celebration, it only seemed fitting tonight to provide our very new sports editor, Earl Baisden, with enough space to produce 2 sporting segments. The first on the various weekend sporting highlights, and the second, a roundup of the past week's sporting events. We begin with the Bermuda Day participants.
On this, the eve of the 2014 Bermuda Day holiday weekend, we take a look at just what is going on and who are the favorites in sports. On Saturday in the St. George's Harbor, the 2014 Bermuda Fitted Dinghy Race season will get underway. During the 2013 season opener, youngster Dimitri Stevens, sailing Contest 3 out of the Royal Bermuda Yacht Club, sailed to victory in the day's 3 races, taking home the Heritage Trophy, Anniversary Cup, and the Leon D. Fox Cup. Then on Monday, we will see the Sinker Packwood Memorial Race take place. Dominic Mayo looking to make it 3 wins in a row. In the 2013 race, Mayo and Karen Smith were crowned the 2013 Sinker Packwood Memorial Race male and female champions. Mayo successfully defended his title, crossing the line in a time of 26:44.36, while Arthur Pitcher finished second in a time of 26:55.51. Darren Glassford finished third in a time of 26:55.79. Karen Smith won the Women's Open Division race, finishing in a time of 30:40.55. She held off Nicole Mitchell, who finished second in a time of 30:40.56. And Zanique Williams clocked 30:40.61, finishing third. And then it's the Bermuda Half Marathon Derby with professional triathlete Tyler Butterfield, the odds-on favorite to defend the title in the men's side, while Astia Swanwick is the hot favorite in the ladies' field. Although the race will not feature the likes of Krista Swanwick and Lamont Marshall, spectators that line the streets will be treated to an exciting race. Butterfield took the lead last year on the backside of Brent's House Hill and never looked back. But this year, he will have the likes of Jay Donovan, Chase Smith, Stephen Allen, and Juma Mouchette, who has just returned from school, hot on his heels. On the ladies' side, Estwanick is the heavy favorite, with the likes of Dion Brewery, Jennifer Allen, and Nikki Butterfield, all looking to have a say who claims the title. On Monday evening, we will have the winners and more. I'm Earl Baisden reporting for VSB Sport.
And now here's a look at the week that was from a sporting perspective.
Youngsters from across the island's primary schools took part in the ACE-sponsored primary school tennis tournament at the W.E.R. Joe Tennis Stadium earlier today. According to David Jenkins, ACE Vice President of Properties, he said the program has grown from strength to strength.
ACE is proud to have been a sponsor of the BLTA's program for the past 14 years. During this time, we've seen the schools program develop from a few hundred children at a handful of schools to 5,000 children at schools island-wide. ACE is delighted that the program has made such a positive impact on youth and continues to produce successful Bermudian tennis players. We're impressed by the number of junior players who started in the school's tennis program and are now taking advantage of scholarships at overseas tennis academies and universities.
Minister Wayne Scott, a 3-time winner of the Sinker Packwood Memorial Race, has decided not to take part this year, and he explains the reason why following a trial run this morning.
You know, the only thing I could think of when I was pushing over Burnt House Hill, giving it everything I had, and I got to the top,
I was just picturing in my mind the sirens going off, the red lights flashing, the sparks coming out the engine, and water flying out through the hood, and spark plugs coming up. The engine was blown.
The 2014 Wednesday night sailing series continued with 33 boats going to the start line for race day 4. Nasty Madison was the first boat to cross the line on the night, clocking a time of 1:04:45. With their correct time of 1:10:38 saw them finish second on the night. Next to cross the line was Thrash, clocking a time of 1:15:41, and with their corrected time of 1:07:47 saw them finish first. Fat Tuesday crossed the line next with a time of 1:13:59, and their corrected time of 1:11:10 saw them finish third on the night. With a corrected time of 1:12:21 saw Smoking finish fourth. I'm Earl Basden reporting for VSB Sports.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the VSB TV 11 Weather Report, brought to you by the Bermuda Weather Service. I'm Valentina Holland. And taking a look at the weather shot sent in today by Marvine Jones. This shot was taken at 3 p.m. in Ferry Reach. You can see down at the oil docks there's some people standing out at the end of the dock. Nice clear waters and a clear sky, some clouds in the distance, but just a nice calm day. They're out enjoying the weather. Thanks for sending that in. Temperature high, 80 degrees at 2 p.m., and the low today was 71 degrees at 4 in the morning. Current conditions, 74 degrees, humidity 70%, wind southwesterly 18 to 22 knots. The barometric pressure is falling at 30.05 inches. The rainfall index for the month of May, so far we've seen 1.30 inches. Total for the year, 22.33, and normally we would have seen 20.68 inches so far. And taking a look at the satellite, low pressure and an associated frontal boundary push south into the area on Saturday. As this front moves in on Saturday, showers begin in the early morning, increasing during the day with thunder from Saturday afternoon into Sunday morning. High pressure returns for Bermuda Day with a return to fair weather and light winds. And for your gateway cities, Atlanta partly cloudy, 85 degrees. Boston mostly cloudy, 62. Charlotte mostly sunny, 81. And London heavy rain, 63 degrees. 89 in Miami, partly cloudy. 71 in New York, mostly cloudy. Orlando partly cloudy, 95 degrees. Philadelphia mostly cloudy, 74. Toronto sunny, 72. And in Washington mostly cloudy at 76 degrees. And back home at night tonight, mostly cloudy, showers developing late, low near 72. The wind southwesterly 18 to 22 knots, decreasing 14 to 18 knots. And tomorrow, mostly cloudy, showers and thunder, high near 76. Southwesterly winds 18 to 22 knots, and later westerly 12 to 18 knots overnight. Mariner's report for tonight, there is a small craft warning in effect. And seas inside the reef are 1 to 2 feet, outside are 4 to 7 feet, and the sea surface temperature is 75 degrees. The Mariner's report for tomorrow, a small craft warning is in effect. A thunderstorm advisory is starting in the afternoon. Seas inside the reef are 1 to 2 feet, outside are 4 to 7 feet, and high tide is at 5:57 a.m. and low tide at 11:47. And for your 5-day forecast, on Sunday, a few showers, thunder early, then sunny periods, high near 74. And on Monday for Bermuda Day, we're going to have a mix of sun and cloud. Pleasant day for the parade, high near 73. Tuesday, partly cloudy, high near 77. And Wednesday, partly cloudy, 74 degrees. Thank you to Tamara Broadley for sending in the photo winner of the week. What a beautiful shot with the trees and the sunrise in the distance. You will win a dinner for two, and we'll be in contact with you to collect your prize. And thank you for joining us tonight. Our meteorologist was Jeremy Entwistle. And next week is Hurricane Awareness Week. You can visit the Bermuda Weather Service website at weather.bm for preparation tips and informative videos. Thank you for joining us and have a great weekend.
And with this holiday weekend approaching, we just want to wish you, from all of us at VSB TV 11, great fun, great times with family and friends, and of course, great food. All the best. Good night.
VSB TV 11, Bermuda.